Baguettes.
You're losing a little bit over there.
I can't think of anything else French, dude.
Baguettes and berets and my incredible accent.
Oh, yeah. We got to hear your incredible accent the last...
The last episode that was released, yes.
Yup, the one that I just heard and listened to.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Who Is My Doctor?
Who is my doctor?
Who is indeed. I'm your host, Zach, and I know a lot about Doctor Who.
And I'm also your host, Cassie, and I don't know a lot about Doctor Who.
And today we're looking at... Today we're looking at the worst episode of Doctor Who.
I'm determined to make it my favorite episode of Doctor Who.
This is series...
Because you're projecting.
I know.
That ruins it, dude.
I know.
That's the whole point of the show.
I know. And I will generally try to abstain from making other opinions, but I also...
You coming out of the gate with negativity, not a good look for you, bro.
I know. I'm going to make my feelings known up front. This is Series 2, Episode 10, Love and Monsters.
Hooray! So excited!
And I will say, one thing you should know about this is, so when the new series started and they added the Christmas specials, I told you before they didn't have Christmas specials for the classic series. That meant there was another episode booked to film in the filming block of Doctor Who. And unfortunately, they didn't have that budgeted in their time schedule at first. So a lot of episodes had to be double booked, where 2 episodes are shooting at the same time. And that created what is now called the Doctor Light episodes, because there's not a lot of the Doctor in them.
Huh.
It's usually following tangential characters in the Whoniverse. And this is the first one of those. Some of them are great. In fact, the other 2 that immediately come to mind are 2 of the best episodes of the show. There's also one companion light episode that's one of the best episodes of the show. This one is not one of them. This is Love and Monsters, which, to get into the Cassie Prefacie a little bit for this one, I will let you know the villain in this one was designed by a child who won a contest to design a Doctor Who alien.
Oh no. Is this another, not Slee Slack? That's in a different world entirely. Those ones I don't
Slitheen?
like. Slitheen, thank
Yes,
you. Is
the
this another
Rexicorica falpatorians.
I don't care what their actual name is, Zachary, you big fucking show-off. Is this another Slitheen?
Well,
type
I will tell you, this creature never comes back again, so it's not another Slitheen in the sense that you have to deal with him ever again. But this is called an Absorbaloff.
Okay.
And because it was designed by a child, I'm going to have you tap into your inner child. And you tell me what you think an Absorbaloff looks like.
An Absorbaloff looks like a vacuum cleaner man come to life.
A vacuum cleaner man?
Yeah, because absorb,
okay.
That's a sucking motion, but yeah, I'm going to go with my gut. It's going to be like a shop vac if a shop vac were a person.
So you're thinking like the character, like that... The shop vac character they have in the Teletubbies that looks like a little elephant?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Because when I was a child, we had a shop vac that was squat and red on top, black on the bottom. So it did look like a very small, round man that would every month or so come into my house and just suck up all the dirt out of my carpet. Tapping into inner child, this is going to be if that shop vac were to come to life as a person.
Okay. Just
shop vac man.
Okay. And I will say that because this episode doesn't follow the Doctor, it instead follows a group called the London Investigation Detective Agency, or Linda.
That's amazing. Oh my god. Detective Agency?
Yes, the London Investigation Detective Agency.
Oh my God. I know that it's unintentional, but, you know, no, not that at all.
Oh.
That was a Futurama reference, brother.
Oh.
That is the ruler of the planet Omicron Persei 8. That's his wife. Is
I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I feel ashamed now as a science fiction fan to have forgotten that. So I would like you to tell me, what do you think the London Investigation Detective Agency is investigating and detecting?
That's so amazing, though. Detective agency. They're investigating missing people.
Missing people?
No. Yes. No. Looking deep into your eyes.
I will try and project it to you from my eyes.
I can't. Your new haircut, it's throwing me off.
I got my haircut today.
It's throwing me off. Okay, let's see. So the Absorbaloft is the name of the alien.
Absorbaloft. No T at the end, just Absorbaloft.
Absorbaloft. That is the very top floor of a building. You know how
the Absorbaloft.
Yeah, you know how
it's like a reverse
when you're,
bounce house.
Hey, shut up. You know, like when you put on the AC and sometimes like it will take in all of the like pet fur and dirt and dander and whatever. That's why you have filters. That stuff shoots up to the top floor of certain buildings. That is the Absorbaloft.
Come stay at the luxurious Absorbaloft.
That makes too much sense. That's where a bunch of plants live. The seedlings are glass. They can absorb the sunshine.
But this is not the Absorbaloft. This is just the Absorbaloft. Just to get, like, I will tell you that you've already met the thing they're investigating.
Oh, is it the doctor?
It could be the doctor.
Because my knee-jerk reaction is to say then if we've already met, it kind of has to be either the doctor or Rose. My thought was also...
We have seen people investigating the doctor before. That was in the very first episode. That we met the guy whose name was... and he got shot by the plastic men.
Yeah, I completely wiped that from my memory, bro.
To be fair, that was like 18 episodes ago. So
that episode frightened me.
Mannequin men. There's no mannequin men in this one, just an Absorbaloft. No, I take it back. The mannequin men do make a cameo in this.
What? Could be the people investigating what Bad Wolf is.
Okay.
But we also haven't seen any of that written on any buildings. And we know the answer to that. So that would be unsatisfying if they just ripped that out of its grave to say this is what people are investigating. So for the lack of continuity, sure, I am guessing that they're investigating the doctor.
All right then. Well, let's find out if the London Investigation Detective Agency is investigating the doctor, and if the Absorbaloft looks like a big ol' vacuum. In Series 2, Episode 10, Love and Monsters.
See, you're projecting again, though. You are projecting on me, sir. That doesn't make for good content. I'm excited for this one, y'all. Hey, future Zach, eat your fucking words, bitch. This one's gonna be my favorite. I am forcing it to be my favorite. You rat bastard.
This episode of Who Is My Doctor is brought to you by Adam and Steve. They're these two guys I met at the gym. They seem nice. I told them about the podcast, and they wanted to sponsor an episode. So, hi, chaps. Best of luck on the squats. Remember, that's Adam and Steve, not Adam and Eve. And we are back.
Hey, Zach. Hey, Zach. I have a new favorite episode.
It's so dumb. It's
No,
so
it's
dumb.
not. No, here's the thing. It was stupid. I will give it that much, because I believe it predates a lot of the, like, I'll call them POV documentary style shows, because I need to see when the British Office, when was that a thing? That and What We Do in the Shadows, because those were the two big things that I was reminded of.
The original Office was 2001, so this is actually several years after that.
Okay, sick. Awesome. Yeah, so that's a very clear influence then. Mm-hmm. Because I happen to love any of those, like, here's the POV from somebody in the background. Case in point, I was thinking a lot about Lion King 1.5 today, and this reminded me of that. Just because it's the what's happening when, like, the big events are happening. And so I like that he's just some guy. Elton is just a dude.
Just a dude.
In the crowd.
He's just a little guy.
No, he's just a dude. He's just a dude in the crowd that is being assaulted by mannequins with appropriately sized hands this time. What else? On Christmas Day, his window is shattered as the spaceship is flying above. He's in the crowd in London when the spaceship barrels into Big Ben. He just happens to be there because it's kind of fucking hard not to be when you're assaulting all of London.
Yep.
Odds are you're gonna be there if you're a Londoner. Yeah, I like how it starts.
Yes, so it starts with Elton chasing after the doctor and finding him and a random alien monster.
Immediate action. It's a handheld cam, so it's all jerky and wild and crazy. The main focus is Elton, our man, our guy.
Main focus is Elton, you know, your favorite character in Doctor Who.
Hey, you know what? It can't all be about the doctor, sir. Because here's my thing. Spoiler alert, jumping to the end a little bit. I found this wildly more entertaining than some of the episodes that you claim to be your favorites.
I mean, this was part of the fun for this podcast, is I figured you and I were going to have different perspectives.
Oh, my
I had no idea how wildly dissimilar this one was going to be, but you know, here we are.
Here's the thing. They got me with the Scooby-Doo haul. Anything that utilizes Scooby-Doo logic, I absolutely adore. Because it's just the visuals. I can't describe it in words. I don't want to describe it in words. That's not fun to hear. But when you have any time a haul has been Scooby-Dooed, color me excited. I love that shit. I eat it up like it's candy. Yum, 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 yum.
For those of you just wondering, there's a moment early on in the episode where the characters are just running between 6 different doors in a hallway as an original Scooby-Doo
it's
cartoon
not just
might have.
Characters. It is simply the Doctor, Rose, and it was a predator-ish alien.
It was a big doggo alien.
A big, like, if Predator and a pit bull were together.
Pit-bull-dator.
Anyways, but they're all chasing each other. Doctor's chasing Rose. Rose is chasing the alien. The alien's chasing the doctor. The doctor's chasing Rose now. Rose is chasing the alien. The alien's chasing himself? It's, oh, man. Yum, 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 yum. I love that. It's so funny. And yeah, and the handheld camera, that sort of, anytime that it's somebody blogging or doing it, but it's very staged and it's inauthentic because it's a scripted series. Easy A is another very good example. One of my favorite movies, any of the scenes where she's blogging and is just like, so, I bet, I know why you're all here. Like, that context is so funny to me. And I don't know if it's just because I grew up in the time where I watched YouTube from its infancy grow into what it is now, where you do have way more videos of those like, hey guys, it's me, your girl, and today we're doing whatever. Mm-hmm. You know, going from the very early days of the internet, which is this time, 2006, very early days of, you know, just having a WordPress or a Blogspot, something like that, where it's like, I don't know who's going to hear this. I don't even know if anybody's going to care to watch this. But I need to tell my side of the story. I have a thing that I need to share, and the world needs to hear it. Because at the end of the day, fucking nobody needs to hear it. Nobody cares. I enjoy it. I like hearing those, but most of the time people don't make things for me and me alone. Except for this fucking episode is made just for me. They even had Moaning Myrtle in it.
They do. They have, in addition to Elton, there's also Ursula, who is played by the same actress as Moaning Myrtle.
I'm so sad I don't actually know her name. But as soon as you hear her little, that's just the sound she makes it. Because I think when she did Harry Potter, she was like 30.
Something like that, yeah. I know she was considerably older than the character she was playing.
But, you know, she's a ghost, so all they had to do is put her in pigtails and
she has a fairly young face.
She has a very young face, and it's especially when, in the case of Moaning Myrtle, she doesn't have human skin.
Shirley Henderson is her name, by the way.
Shirley Henderson. But yeah, in the case of Moaning Myrtle, she doesn't have human skin. So any of the age that is detectable on human skin can be erased out because she's a fucking ghost. The only thing that stays, and we're so happy it does, is her wonderful voice.
His name is the Doctor.
Yeah, and she continues. I wonder if that is her actual voice or if she puts on like an affect.
Maybe. I also noticed the same thing for Elton, where he was both very young and very old at the same time.
Yeah, it was especially because there's
that Neil Patrick Harris looking motherfucker.
The Neil Patrick Harris you order on Wish.com.
Yeah.
He does because there's a moment where I'm like, he does look really young, especially because there's that scene where Jackie's like making a pass at him, and you're like, we'll
get to that. We'll get to that. But in the case of what he looks like in particular, I spent a very fair amount of the episode trying to figure out how old is he? Because when you go into the flashback, when he is referring to the first time that he interacted with the Doctor, the house is very shag carpet, orange, yellow, brown. So the indication is that it is the 1970s.
Yeah, or at least the house was from the 70s.
You know, but there's a very safe guess then that if he's a child who remembers this, I think he says he's 4.
Yeah, if he was 4, then he'd be...
You know, let's just say the year is 1979 and he's 4 years old.
Yeah, so if that's the case, that would mean he was born in 75, and this show takes place in 2006
so
at this point.
So he would have been 30.
He would have been 31, yeah.
Yeah. He could be 30.
Yeah. He could be anywhere from 30. He could be anywhere from 31 to like 35, really.
He could be 10.
Yeah.
He could be 4 still. You don't know.
He could be this many.
He could be able to be counted on one hand. You don't know. You don't know.
He could still be 4. You said that. I'm sorry.
I did just say that. Yeah. I really loved him talking about his little like golden days of Linda. Which, another one of my favorite tropes when people talk about you don't know that they were the golden days until they're gone, until they're behind you. He doesn't say that, but it has that same intonation.
Yeah, especially because later they do a montage of him like looking back on it.
Oh my god, there's so much montage, where he's going through each and every member of Linda. Bliss is my absolute favorite because she's talking about how she's making art for what the Doctor represents.
What he could represent and what he should represent. And what he never won't represent, sort of thing.
Which...
Bless Bliss.
Which is the British version of...
Bless your heart.
You were gonna have something to say?
That was what I was gonna say, was that it's the British version of Bless Your Heart. Like, I don't want to say there aren't good moments in it. There's just a lot of it where I'm like, this isn't why I watch this show.
In the context of the series, it's not good. As a standalone, considering that this is probably the only episode that we are going to watch tonight, loved it. 500 out of 10. Would watch again.
Yeah, there's a part of it where it's like, why am I watching Doctor Who and there's just a man jumping around in his socks?
Listening to ELO, dude. You try listening to 5 times during this episode. They played Mr. Blue Sky. Do you know how many times I wanted to get up and start wiggling around? 5 times. I had to take notes, which is why I didn't.
Which is really weird because that last part the last time they play Mr. Blue Sky is the really slow parts. If you got up and bopped around to that one, that would have been kind of interesting.
No, because the note for that one, the note that I was busy writing down was, why are they trying to make us feel things for somebody we don't know?
Right. We'll get to that.
It was very Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah.
Okay. Jeez. Oh, man, Rick. Oh, Victor Kennedy is somehow a wizard when he walks in.
So,
lights.
Yeah, Victor Kennedy walks in right when the power goes out.
Victor Kennedy, Mr. Bad Guy.
Yeah. Hello, my name is Victor McBadman. Never mind the fact that I'm dressed in a trench coat and a big hat and I've got an evil mustache I can twirl.
Evil mustache. My hair is white. My skin is white. My coat jet black.
And none of you can touch me.
Because of the eczema.
That you mean eczema?
Eczema.
He repeats multiple times that he means eczema.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
And
that's so funny, dude. Come on.
What I mean is, it's not that it doesn't work. It's that it doesn't work for Doctor Who.
I don't like being touched, literally or metaphorically.
It's that this episode is so feels like it's from another show.
It does. Maybe that's why I like it. Maybe this is me saying, hey, Zach, I don't like Doctor Who. I like this episode because it's specifically not Doctor Who.
I didn't realize, when I started the podcast, Who is My Doctor, I never expected your doctor to be Elton.
Me neither, but here we are.
But yeah, because he's such a cartoon character and that no one second guesses this obviously evil man to be obviously evil.
Where's Bliss? Didn't you hear she's getting married? Moving on. Okay. Don't y'all have each other's emails or something? Also, there is a moment where I wrote down, geez, hard to work when the computer's not on. Because he's actively typing, but the camera pulls back just far enough that you can see that the screen is blank. When moments ago, it was on. I love the attention to detail. And yeah, the whole moment where he's talking about the 4 steps of infiltration.
Or find a way to start a conversation. Get their name. Find a way to get into their house. Or no, it was crack a joke. And then find a way to get into their house.
And Jackie just does all of that.
For him.
Without prompt. She had no idea.
Yeah.
This made me love Jackie so much. Because, again, that shit's funny. There's a lot of moments in this episode where it was I was laughing partially to piss you off because I knew I could feel you seething on the other side of the couch, but genuinely got a couple laughs out of me.
Yeah, there was a couple times where I laughed too. Because one nice thing about not enjoying this episode is that this is one of those episodes I've never really revisited, and I will say it is a bit better than I remember. I may actually say this might not be the worst episode of the show anymore. I still have huge problems with the last third of the episode. We'll get to that in just a minute.
Oh yeah, me as well. But when Elton is becoming her little handyman because, quote, she used to have a little mate named Mickey that would do all this. He's gone now. I didn't even think about that when Mickey stays in the alternate dimension, in the alternate timeline to live with his grandma, that he is leaving Jackie behind.
Yeah, he's leaving his whole life behind. Because we saw at one point he worked at an auto shop, so he's got all those coworkers that he left. And
well, yeah, but the biggest thing is just at least in this case, it's he left Jackie completely alone. Not that his decision making should include Jackie necessarily, just because she is the mother of his kind of not really girlfriend partner. His reasonings and his decision comes before anybody else. But in that moment, you're kind of like, oh wait, Jackie's like sad.
Yeah.
Like, she's really sad. And she's super alone. But she's also covering really well for the Doctor and Rose, just saying that, or just in this case, it's Rose, because that's who Elton is trying to get to. And it's the fact that she covering for her daughter, just saying that she's traveling with mates, because she was for a hot minute when Mickey and the Doctor were all together. And she busts out her little bottle of wine. It's French, yeah? French know how to do a lot of things right. Like wine and fries and smooching.
Toast. Being able to see everyone's underpants.
Fuck, I was going to say, is creating holes in the wall where the men can see it all. But another thing, another defense, another feather in the cap for Jackie. She gets a redemption arc in less than an episode. Good for fucking her. Because the entire time you're like, oh no, Jackie's doing her Jackie thing. She's seducing this man she just met a couple weeks ago. But oh no. I guess it's not a couple weeks. Maybe a couple days.
Yeah, and she's like really throwing herself at him too, like she's pouring wine on his shirt to get him to take his shirt off.
Whoops.
Like, yeah, it's a little uncomfortable. Little uncomfortable about that.
But then she says, like, I was gonna be nice and pay for this round of pizza, and I knew you wouldn't accept the money, so I was gonna sneak it into your pocket. And look what I found. And it's a picture of Rose. And she gets rightfully angry. And that's when she's like, I'm gonna defend the Rose and the Doctor for the rest of the life.
Although she doesn't really seem to be upset for the right reason. She seems to be upset. She doesn't seem to be upset that someone is like trying to track down her daughter and the Doctor. She seems to be upset that it isn't about her.
I was looking for the Doctor.
Oh, I know that. I worked that out. Because it's never me, is it?
No, but that's how it started, but I changed my mind.
Let me tell you something.
Well, it's she's being used for yet something else that has to do with the Rosen Doctor.
The Rosen Doctor?
I've said that now twice. We know Jackie is selfish. This is not news. This is not a new characteristic, a new quirk of hers.
Yes.
But it's nice to see that she is saying that she will protect her daughter and the Doctor for as long as she lives.
It was nice that they cared about Jackie, because they typically seem to write Jackie as a joke.
Jackie is not in the series, hardly ever.
Yes, and when she is, they don't seem to write her as a positive character. They seem to write her as a nag. And so it was nice to see another angle of her. To remind you that, for as much of a pain as she is, even to the Doctor, she does genuinely care about her daughter.
Yeah. That's sweet. It's really wonderful to see that.
Yes.
In a mother character. But then we get to the meat of the episode.
Yeah, basically every time they come and have a meeting of Linda. Oh, speaking of which, we can go ahead and give you that point. Linda was investigating the Doctor.
I am going to defend my answer of Shop Vac Man, because he did not look like a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, if you dunked a vacuum cleaner in a swamp first.
Yeah. He looked like a little round man vacuum cleaner.
Round, wet, green, talon having.
Hairy, but mohawk only.
Swamp looking fat bastard from Austin Powers movies.
A lot of tongue work. A lot of tongue work. Which my note for that was just so many choices. Because for the one hand, the makeup, not bad.
It wasn't bad.
Specifically the makeup of any of the close-ups that they do of Mr. Skinner Ursula, any of the close-ups that they did of them having already been absorbed, they do the same makeup on them, but, looking like they're part of a larger mass, which I couldn't tell, but when Mr. Skinner is first absorbed, it almost looks like he is in the same room as everybody else. Like he is part of that makeup, if that makes sense. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I couldn't tell, and I didn't know if that was just because he's kind of shoved off to the side on the ground.
Yeah, because of where he was, there was more shadow on him, and so it doesn't seem quite as They don't have to. They can adjust the coloring better to make it look like he's really there.
Which again, good job.
Unlike Ursula, who anytime they have to cut it on her, they have to get real close.
Well, yeah, but she still has the same makeup.
Yeah.
It's the same exact. I would be shocked if it wasn't. I'd imagine that it's the same exact process of.
Can we also just address really quick that it's very silly that when she comes out of the Absorbaloft, she's still wearing her glasses?
Hey, you know what? Consistency. I wouldn't know what she looked like without her little glasses.
But you know what she'd sound like.
I mean, you couldn't understand Bliss. It wasn't just because she was being sat on.
Yeah, I do appreciate. One nice thing about if you don't like this episode, it does feature a character literally talking out of an ass.
Yeah.
So there's a part of it where it feels like they kind of knew.
Yeah, also his accent was going in and out
right.
of something that I couldn't quite determine. Because you said Austin Powers looking motherfucker, and then that reminded me, oh yeah, it is just Shrek before Shrek.
It is a little Shreky. Just to show you anyway, this is the design that the child had submitted that won. And they really decided to go into this design. Like, they gave him the same stupid haircut.
The drawing looks like he's melting almost. He didn't look like he was melting.
Like he's actively, constantly dripping wet. Yeah, they kept his same stupid haircut, and they gave him a little loincloth, just like he had in the drawing.
I do really appreciate, though, that Rose and I had the same thought of... Ain't he a bit Slitheen? But he's not, because he's from the planet Clom.
Which is the twin planet. They're nothing like the Slitheen.
Yeah, because this one is a planet I can pronounce. Because it's 4 letters.
Just going back to when they first revealed the Absorbaloff, I do appreciate that the two people walk in, and they don't seem to notice that he's just holding up a newspaper with giant... claws.
Such a large newspaper. It's so big. Where'd he even get that? It wasn't on his desk before.
And it takes them until they get 2 feet away from them to notice that he's got these giant oven mitt claw hands now.
Yeah.
And then when they reveal him, he just kind of sits there and explains everything. It doesn't really doesn't do anything active.
He doesn't explain at all why he's there.
Yeah.
Other than that he wants to find the doctor to absorb all of his history.
Yeah, or just imagine how delicious it'll taste with all of that knowledge. And I'm like, what?
But then he ggets a little Irish Scottish, so we gotta make sure we adjust it as we go on.
It really feels like he was trying to do Fat Bastard.
It did.
Get in my belly.
That I would not be surprised though. When did Austin Powers come out?
I don't remember which one he was in.
Because you could look it up.
I'm looking.
Because there's also a part of me that's like, what if this kid? What if that's what they were drawing inspiration from?
Well, that wouldn't necessarily inform the actor's choices.
I mean, what if the actor could have been informed by that because he was just wearing a silly little loincloth.
I mean, it could be because the first appearance was Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, which came out in 1999.
So there was a lot of Austin Powers in this episode.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I liked it, because I love those movies. But his ultimate demise is so very good. They just had to break his stupid little cane, and then he would be the absorber is being absorbed. Where? By the earth. whole circle of life on me. It's so stupid.
Like, do you think eventually he just like pops out the other end?
Yes. Or he, gets to the center of the earth and meets Brendan Fraser and Josh Hutcherson.
But every time a meeting for Linda ends, Victor calls one of them over and it's just like, hey, can we talk a little bit after this meeting? Or it's, I've got phone numbers for you. We can look at
emails. I can help you track her down.
Yeah.
As if they didn't have any kind of like email chain or something that they were using to communicate when meetings were going to happen.
Yeah. But every single time as they're walking away, the person screams like in horror and no one ever turns around.
No, they're talking about getting food and stuff.
Maybe that's why they didn't notice the big giant oven mitt hands, because they can't hear anyone screaming. They have no perception whatsoever.
They're legally blind, Zach.
Legally blind and deaf. They have no perception of reality.
Yes. They didn't not say that.
So yes, the Absorbaloff melts into the earth.
Absorbaloff does sound a little bit like a medication, though, don't it?
Try Absorbaloff. That's one of those new weight loss medications going around. It's Wegovy, Ozempic, Mounjaro, Absorbaloff.
It costs what, like
it costs
$5,000?
$5,000, but there's a coupon that makes it $2,500.
Uh-huh. And it costs a human life. Because once they've been absorbed, they can't be unabsorbed. That's not how it works.
Remember the Absorbaloff slogan? Get in my belly.
That doesn't make any sense, though. Because this is a weight loss medication.
Get out of my belly.
Better.
And then they reveal that the doctor had first come to Elton when he was 4 to stop a shadow monster that killed his mom. And then they have a montage about Elton's mom, a character that we know nothing of and has no impact on the story at all.
Nope. It's a sweet montage. So cute.
But
I don't know fucking shit about her.
It's like, this is a cool way to burn 2 minutes, I guess.
Yup.
Just... all right, she seems like a mom.
Yep.
She's doing all that mom stuff.
She's a 70s-ish mom. And then it's the last shot of the mom and a small child walking together, and she kind of drops his hand and keeps walking.
And waves goodbye, and then keeps walking, and then the white just like funnels around everyone but the boy.
I know, very Jojo Rabbit. Except that one was earned.
Right?
Those damn shoes. Mild spoilers, I guess.
And so so Ursula manages to come up for just a minute out of a slab of concrete to say...
stretchy concrete.
Stretchy rubber concrete, just to say goodbye, and then melts away. But the doctor, using his magic wand, as he calls it, waves it to fish her out of the slab.
To rearrange the absorption matrix, Zach.
What the fuck does that mean? What do you mean absorption matrix? It wasn't tech. That's just how the Absorbaloff works.
Because if we're trying to go nature-wise, like, okay, that makes perfect sense. Organic matter is being absorbed into concrete, which I guess is, in this case, organic matter. There's dirt in between. I can argue this all day long. It's the rearranging of the absorption matrix to then bring just Ursula's face back up through the tile.
Yeah, and
get a spade.
I guess she's fine. She doesn't need a heart or lungs or a stomach or anything.
No, it's quite peaceful this way.
Just a face.
And glasses still.
And
Do you want to hear my honest thing?
What?
The doctor ruined it for me. The final third of this episode, the last like 5 minutes with the doctor coming in and saving the day ruined it so much for me. Because if the alien just absorbed into the concrete and the doctor said, well, his little bit about the absorber becoming absorbed,
Yeah, maybe she had said goodbye and then faded away.
Yeah, and then just having that be like a, sorry, mate, like, I'm not a nice guy.
And then you can tie it back to the mom being gone, and now he can get closure on someone passing. Now he and the doctor has been present again for someone he cares about dying, and they can use that moment to sort of tie those two things together. But instead, the doctor fishes her face out of the concrete to condemn her to a life of being a blowjob dispensing slab of stone.
Immortal.
Yeah, she doesn't age, but they have a bit of a love life.
They've even got a bit of a love life.
Oh, let's not go into that.
Someone wrote in the script
We were all thinking
that
it.
Elton sticks his dick in his decapitated girlfriend's head.
We were all thinking it, Zachary. If I became a brick, I would want you to do the same thing. Let's be honest. If the only thing that I can dispense is knowledge and blowjobs,
All in all, there's just another brick on my balls.
whoa. That one was actually good, bud. Sorry to everybody who didn't need the mental image of me as a brick.
But I gotta say, like, if it wasn't for that ending, I probably wouldn't have such a distaste for it. There is a part of it where it's just like, the doctor has sort of just decided what this woman's life is going to
See,
be.
because here's the thing is I really love the doctor saying, like,
Sweet, maybe. Passionate, I suppose, but don't ever mistake that for nice.
I love that because we saw that in the Christmas episode too, where he's like, I'm not a good guy. I'm just smart.
Yeah.
I'm here to help and save the day.
Yes.
I like him bringing that back around and saying that he's not a nice guy because the doctor inherently isn't. He is there to save the day when he can, and when he can't, he just works very hard to get himself and Rose out of trouble. And so this was one of those moments where it's like, it would have been really nice to see the doctor not being able to succeed.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't fucking here for the entire thing. The whole episode is about them looking for the doctor, and, you know, it wasn't about the treasure. The treasure was the friends we made along the way. Like, I like that. I
mean, I will say the doctor still didn't really save the day. He just sort of told
Well,
the
'cause
absorbed
that's-
people what they could do.
Well, it's the fact that he still somehow gave Elton kind of a happy ending.
Yeah.
And that's the part where
I mean,
I'm like,
it seems like the doctor gave him many happy endings.
hey, yeah. Nah, you made me lose my train of thought, brother.
I mean, I've got
But it's that part alone which makes me almost go like, I don't know. I don't know why this episode didn't end with the doctor not succeeding in something. Because also, Rose is legitimately mad that that Elton upset her mom. Nobody upsets my mom. And then
which is mostly
Elton's-
really funny because Rose consistently upsets her mom.
Yeah, that's the thing though. It's like, I can make my mom angry. You can't make my mom angry.
No one upsets my mom but me.
Yeah. No, that's the, like, I can make my mom furious. You do that, I'll bite your fucking head off. I don't know if that might be a more common, like, mother-daughter thing.
That could be.
Because that's legit. That's how I feel about my mom and my sister. I can piss them off. You piss them off though, or you say something nasty, I'm coming for you. You don't have the right. You didn't earn that. I did my time. 12 years of it in my mom's house. Thank you.
So I've got a few other hang-ups about like the last chunk here, where both Elton and the doctor call him an Absorbaloff, and he's like, "Yeah, I like that." Implying that he doesn't have a name?
No.
Like he
Why
and
would
his species
he?
have no name.
There's a very good. There is a character in a book that adopts a son basically to train into being a wizard. And so he adopts and rescues this child from an orphanage and basically like has him locked away in a tower, so to speak, to read all these books and learn how to manipulate nature and forces and stuff. And the child asks him, like, do you want to know my name? And he goes, I don't see why that would matter. And the child does not actually pick his name until he's 17, because up until that point, names didn't matter. It was just him and this, his father figure, so to speak. And so my feelings on the aliens not having a name for the race is, why would their names matter? Why would they need a name for their species if they are the only beings on their planet?
I mean,
They
you
don't
would
need a
have
name.
you would have to assume they aren't, because they eat by absorbing things, so they would have
they go to other planets though and get that.
Yeah, but before you gain space travel,
I suppose. My
like we
thing
have
is,
names for chickens because we eat chickens.
Well, yeah, but that's because there's a lot of there's a lot of things like that,
Yeah.
but you don't go around individually naming like, that's a Rhode Island red chicken right there when you're fucking eating it. I don't know the types of chickens that I'm eating. I just know that they're chickens and they're
tasty.
Yeah, they have meat that is good.
I do have another hang up with all the faces, because the doctor just sort of says, hey, sort of just says, I don't know what the other folks are going to do about it. And then they're like, oh, right, we can all like stretch in here. And I'm like, how is that not a horrible, debilitating weakness that your entire species has, that your food immediately is like, I don't want to be in this tummy, I'm going to pull. Like,
Well,
they can't
'cause
be
it
unabsorbed, but they're going to, it's a lot of indigestion.
Well, because it's also like they don't actually break the alien apart until his magic walking stick is broken.
Well, they pull him apart so he loses hold of his magic walking stick, and then the magic walking stick breaks and he melts. But before then, they could still pull in different directions.
I mean, don't you think that if you had been absorbed without your consent, you would be a little bit sad and not thinking of a way to get out? Because as far as you know, you can't. Because even though they were pulling, they couldn't get out.
That's fair. And it's also,
If I had been absorbed, I'm figuring out a way to kill myself. Holding my breath, making myself pass out. I don't know.
I did really enjoy the silly moment from Ursula when she first gets absorbed. She's like, I can read his thoughts now. You're next, Elton. He's coming for you next. And I'm like, I don't think he needed you to say that, Ursula.
No shit, Sherlock.
I didn't think he and I were going to go hang out at Dairy Queen after this.
I can read his. I was really excited though. I could read his thoughts. He's sad. He's angry that he has to do this. You could at least give the Absorbaloff some kind of character arc. We saw Jackie make a character arc in less than an episode. Give the alien an arc too.
It'd be really fun. It would be really funny if she's like, I could read his thoughts, but then said someone else's, like said something totally different. Like, he's really sad about this. He's like, no, I'm not. He really hates doing this, and he feels bad, and he wishes he could kick us out. No, I don't. You're delicious. And there's having an argument. No, I can read your mind. I know what you're saying. Shut up. And he slaps himself.
Wow.
I just wrote a whole sketch. I'm a genius.
Wow. That was very funny.
Considering how hard you're laughing, I don't think it's going to make it into the edit.
It was the face I was giving you the entire time, which I recognize that a face cannot make it into the podcast. I'm not built for podcasts. I miss being in front of an audience.
We'll just have to get popular enough to do these live.
I would love that, although, that means I have to be concerned with how I look. Oh no, I'd have to care about how I look. Oh no. For those of you at home, I'm sporting an off-the-shoulder top today, a rare look for me. It's covered with cashew milk, though, because I spilled some when I was drinking it earlier. I mean, non-ironically, I did really enjoy it. Like, there were a lot of moments there where I went, this has so much potential to be good. Like there were so many moments. Now, there's a part of me that wishes that we had gotten an episode like this with Mickey or with Jackie. Like a character that we've seen. Captain Jack? Oh my god, if we had one of these with Captain Jack.
We have a whole show of that with Captain Jack. That's what he has. He has a spin-off called Torchwood. He's the main character in that. So he has a whole spin-off show of him doing adventures.
Oh my god. But if we had an episode like this with a character that we kind of know, but is not one of the is in the supporting cast of this show, like that would be awesome. You know, another one, Jane Smith and K9, that would be really great if we could see them again. But we won't.
Sarah Jane and K9 also get their spin-offs.
I know. I don't want to spin
And
off,
also, we
though.
see Sarah Jane again.
Okay, but we don't see K9, and that's all I care about. I know he gets his own show. I get that. I'm not watching those shows right now, though. I'm watching this one.
Well, I will say this episode was better than I remembered it being. Because when I first watched it, I hated it. Like, I hated every second of it.
I am so happy this isn't a two-parter. If this was a two-parter, I'd fucking scream with joy.
Well,
I'm kidding. If this was a two-parter, I would walk out. I'd quit. I'd quit the podcast.
You know, it's funny. I almost had made this episode a two-parter because the other episode that I think is the worst episode of Doctor Who is the next episode.
Interesting. So I'm probably going to like that one a lot, too.
We will see, because I thought it was different. I thought it was bad for different reasons. So I don't know if I don't know how that one's gonna hold up.
Oh, wait, so did I get points for saying that he was a shop vac man?
Absolutely not.
I don't think I was wrong, though.
You were very much wrong.
I don't think I was wrong.
I had even tried to clarify just to make sure what you meant, and I asked, did you mean like the shop vac from Teletubbies? He looks nothing like that character.
He was short and round, and I think that counts.
But you do get one.
He did do that with people.
But you do get one.
He did do a lot of shop vacy type moves with his tongue.
See, the funny thing is, if you had guessed he looks like a Slovene, then I would have given it to you.
You son of a bitch. 23 out of 42 then.
23 out of 42. You're still, I mean, you're above 50%. So we'll see if that track keeps holding on the next episode of Who Is My Doctor?
Hey, Zag, who is my doctor?
Apparently it's Elton.
Ew, I don't ever want to hear you say that again. I know what he does with his brick girlfriend.
His stone companion.
His stone companion. Ugh. You didn't answer my question, though. Who's my doctor?
Who is indeed.
Thank you.
Hey, that wasn't so bad after all, was it? I mean, it was. It was really bad. For me. Cassie liked it, though, so, you know, we take little victories wherever we can get them. Hopefully you like this episode, though, and you can let us know by giving us a like or 5 stars or whatever your podcast platform of choice demands in tribute. If you want to tell us how much you liked it, you can follow us on Twitter, Blue Sky Threads, or Instagram at WimDpod. That's WIMDPOD. Next week we'll be looking at Fear Her, the other worst episode of Doctor Who. Maybe Cassie will like that one too. Guess we'll find out next Tuesday, because your Tuesdays are now Who's Days.